Hello and welcome to another Pioneer video. I'm Tandy. Today we're going to be playing Mono Green Devotion, but Mono Green Devotion might be dead. The banning of Karn the Great Creator knocked it out, right? Maybe, but I want to try a build today that I think could be quite good, featuring a brand new card from Outlaws of Thunder Junction, Outcaster Trailblazer. For 3 mana, you get a 4/2 that when it enters the battlefield, you get a mana of any color. And it says whenever another creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. And it has the ability Plot, where you can put in Suspend, basically, and then on the next turn you can play it for free, get a mana out of it, and ramp up to your 5 drops a turn ahead of schedule, and draw a card off them to boot. Outcast Trailblazer is a card that I've only seen a handful of games with so far, but from what I've seen, it's looked really nice, and I think you're going to see just how good it is in today's video, because I'm confident that it is the reason why Mono Green is going to make a comeback. Instead of Karn the Great Creator, our combo kill is Ulvenwald Oddity. It's a somewhat vulnerable kill condition, but it's one that when we're kind of churning through our deck, we can find it and win games that we might not otherwise be able to win. And on baseline, it's a 4-cost 4/4 Trample Haste, which is nice. When you flip it, it becomes an 8/8 Trample Haste that +1/+1s everything else and gives it Trample and Haste. And in combination with Outcast Trailblazer, it's just pretty good to cast turn 2 Trailblazer into turn 3 Ulvenwald Oddity. You know, those types of draws I think will happen some number of time and be solid. We have a Sylvan Carotid in our deck in case our opponents attack our elves. I want to have a couple more 2-drop things that can ramp us that are less vulnerable to removal. Wolfwillow Haven and Sylvan Carotid are those things, and Sylvan Carotid is kind of just like a 5th Wolfwillow Haven. We're playing only 3 copies of Oath of Nissa. I'm not sure if this is right, but I'm trying to fit a lot of stuff into the deck, and in order to do that, you have to make concessions somewhere. I think 8 Elves is right. I think 4 Wolfwillow Haven's right. The Sylvan Carotid could easily just be an Oath of Nissa, and I think that would be fine. Old Growth Troll, the old standby, great with, Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, and hard to kill. Kiora Behemoth Beckoner, the static effect, quite strong, very similar to Outcast Trailblazer's draw effect. The two of them work really nicely together, and I hope you'll see just like the deck drawing a bunch of cards with those two just being in play, allowing for, combo turns with Storm the Festival, being the focal point of draws where your opponent is trying to attrition you out. You can play Kiora or Trailblazer, and then hopefully your opponent spend all their removal killing your elves, and then they're able to draw you some cards and get back into the game. The Silverback Elder is more experimental. It's kind of acting as a 5th Cavalier of Thorns. It's something that's kind of been at the back of my mind for some time now, and I think it could be pretty good. My concern is that it could die to removal before you get to use it at all. And the fact that the land's coming to play tapped, I think, is a pretty big bummer. But all the other abilities, gain 4 life, artifact and enchantment, I think that these are all good. Lastly, Storm the Festival. This is an old standby combo card that I think is obviously it's a card that works well in Mono Green Devotion in general. It's a great mana sink for Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, and I am somewhat concerned with its effectiveness without the card Karn the Great Creator, but overall I think it's still pretty solid. Sideboard, we have 3 copies of Obstinate Baloth for the Waste Not matchups and the aggressive decks. It's great at fighting against Shrapnel Blast, burn spells, things of that nature. 2 copies of Unlicensed Hearse. This is mostly for graveyard strats. I'm not sold that this is the best option, but it's certainly an efficient one. 3 Stonebrain, mostly for Lotus Field, but can come in against various combo decks. 3 copies of Pick Your Poison. This is mostly for vampires, but can come in to be our disenchant of choice. And then lastly, 4 Voracious Hydra. I have a sideboard plan in mind where against aggressive creature decks, I'm going to side out Storm the Festival and bring in Voracious Hydra. And I hope that Voracious Hydra is going to be great. And I have a sneaking suspicion that it will be. This is Mono Green Devotion. It's time for a revival, I guess. Thanks to Outcaster Trailblazer. Let's play League. Yeah, I'll keep. It's all mana, but mana plus Oathedness is fine. We're on the draw, but it is what it is. Basic Island. Spyglass Iron. So probably blue-red. Typing 600 words per minute. I type pretty fast. You have to write articles for a living. What's up, Beard? Well, the draws at the PT were because it was standard, and standard is a freaking mess. It's good, it's fun, but the games are really long and complex. And everything is mid-range soup. Everything is mid-range soup, chat. I think the games in Pioneer are pretty quick. Gleaming Gear Drake. Ace of the Filch Falcon on top. That goes to the grave. Don't see that around too much. That means to me they probably don't have the demolition go wide. Alright, we can't block these flyers, so we'll just get a little aggro with our Ulvenwald Oddity. We have the Beseiju to kill something, and maybe we should have went Carrot to hold up Beseiju in case they go for the Insult Artifact, but because they didn't do that last turn on this Darksteel or the Clue, I think that's fine. Fear of Nylea, thank you so much for the Prime Gaming sub. Appreciate you. Here's Epicure. This is a matchup where I'll be bringing in some Pick Your Poisons for enchantment, as well as sometimes on flyer. Could snag a Gear Drake. Alright, let's go Oath. Finds a troll. Not having any sort of draw engine here is a little awkward. So we'll go, I guess, Troll Elf. Oh no, we got Rebuke, chat. Alright, no cards left in hand. I might need this land. Blows this up though. Alright, I'm gonna maybe try to kill them. The Oddity next turn is not lethal, but we might find something that lets us go crazy with the second Nykthos. I probably should have played the land. But we're going to take 6 here. I guess we're going to take way more because of the blood. So I guess it was better to hold. Maybe I should have played second Nykthos. Huh. I don't know. That's tough. That's a tough turn. Alright, so they're putting a Zoetic into the grave. Case of the Filch Falcons on top? Question mark? I don't know. I don't know what's where. Why does every matchup feel bad, chat? Every matchup feels horrible. Maybe we just moved into a different era without mono green and it would never need to be banned in the first place. Rough hands? I don't even think so. I have like elf into stuff a lot and they just die. Alright, 5. Yeah, we're just one short. We didn't have enough mana to pop the Wolf Willow though, so. Unfortunate. Alright, so pick your poison for sure. Voracious Hydra for sure. Storm's out. Cure's out. We'll just be like creature dense. Maybe get some Baloths in here. Gain some life. Benadi for another Baloth. Something like that. Carrot could probably come out on the draw actually for another Baloth. Tandy, do you think we'll be getting Pioneer Masters or just more push cards and standard sets? I don't know. I feel like Pioneer Masters or Pioneer Horizons is a very smart business move, but that's only like a short-term thing. Like, Pioneer is the place where standard cards go to die, and if standard cards never go anywhere to die, then standard becomes irrelevant, like it did for years before they brought it back, like, manually. Any thoughts on including Pelucranos? We had 2 Pelucranos reborn in our previous iteration, and it never came up. We never drew it, or it didn't matter. I think what's really happening is that elves just aren't good anymore, which is fucking wild to me. I know, TV. Me too. Me too. Yeah, it's all the same shit, Scooter. You know what they mean, though. Yes, there's tons of early removal, tons of things that say exile. Like, Old Growth Troll isn't good anymore, right? Because everything says exile. We've been talking about that a lot lately. Like, every piece of removal that matters either costs 1 or says exile on it, which makes a bunch of stuff work poorly. Alright, well, this is a pretty good hand. We're going to go turn 1 elf, turn 2 probably plot. Although we can't just go Trailblazer Elf. Trailblazer Elf is probably a better start. I'm hoping they don't kill this on 1. If they do, I'll be sad. They led with Soken's on though, so they're probably killing it. Every time, man. Even the decks that shouldn't be playing removal play removal. Whipping my ass in the comments section too. Maybe it's time to move away from Storming the Festival in favor of more Voracious Hydra's main. I did always like Voracious Hydra in these decks, but it makes the mana sink stuff worse. But Trailblazer Kiora could still be great, even without Storm. And without the big density of 3s, 4s, I've been just having some serious trouble with Storming the Festival not hitting. Alright, so I'm just going to go for Hydra Fight. And then next turn we can maybe get Nykthos active. Surprised they didn't map it, but I guess they wanted the artifact for Ensoul this turn. Should run 1 or 2 Affectionate Indrik in the sideboard. I don't even know what that card does. Let me look it up. Six mana, 4/4. And there's a battlefield you may have a fight target creature you don't control. No, thank you. It's so much worse than Voracious Hydra for so many reasons. Okay, so Elf is free. I guess we just play the Troll. Troll's just more mana. For next turn we can Trailblazer plus Cavalier. And that'll stop the filches from being that effective, even with Darksteel. It's for mid-range? okay. Sure. Sure, it's good. It's good. I wish it just made green mana. It's actually annoying that it makes mana of like any color. Just makes it so I have to click one more thing. So they can filch as a blocker here, so we can't really attack. And now you're going to see me struggle in the late game because we don't have a mana sink, the Storming the Festival. Because they can go filch on a Darksteel for defense, so we can't attack. It's good in your Beast Commander deck? That's fine. That's fine. So they got 2 indestructible 4/4 flyers. I don't think that they are trolling, and that's also fine. Okay, so if we fire up Lair, they have to block Lair with 1. And then we lose like 1 other creature. So let's just make a million. Send everybody. Send in the goons. So they're going to take 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They're either going to take 13 is minimum, or they take 12 and kill a guy, or they take 14 and kill a guy. So they take 13 minimum or 14 and kill a guy. Yeah. GG. Okay. So I still think this is a fine config after sideboard, though. A lot of people play Commander only, and Commander is a cool format that allows you to basically just do whatever you want. And there's a lot of like social pressures to just like not attack your opponent's stuff, you know? And so people get like an overinflated sense of how good or bad some of their cards can be. And like for example, a 6-cost 4/4 that fights something is not good, right? Because specifically, there's just a better card that we could play. Kogla. Kogla is a 6-mana 6/5 that fights, and it has whenever it attacks, destroy an artifact or enchantment, and it can return a human to your hand. So there's just like that aspect also. Yes, Indrik does get around Fatal Push, but it doesn't have the variable casting cost. I want my Hydra to be interactive on turns 2, 3, and 4, whereas the Indrik will not be online until like 4, 5, 6. This hand is a little wonky. I think I kind of want to keep the Trailblazer, but we just don't have an elf, so it's like not very good. Let's put it back. And we're probably going to lose if they have a reasonable draw. But again, this is just like another bad matchup for mono green. You know, we have some answers to some of their stuff, like pick your poison's good against their what you call it. But you know, we're not playing Reclamation Sage, so we can't find it off Oath of Nissa, etc. Are there any mutate cards good in mono green? We have tried there's a 4-drop guy that when you mutate him is a 4/4. And when you do that, you disenchant. And we've tried that one before a long time ago. But mutate cards in general are a little bit underpowered in modern, or in Pioneer rather. So I think the card I take here is Cavalier in the hopes that everything goes well over the next few turns instead of badly. What's the good matchup? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Gino. It used to be Rakdos, but now with the Vein Reaper stuff, I don't think that's true anymore. So maybe they should just unban Karn the Great Creator, you know? Yes, Gem Razor, that's the one. Phoenix? I don't even know if Phoenix is a good matchup, but maybe it is. Alright, we'll go Wolfwillow, see if this resolves. It does, nice. Next turn, we might go for Baloth, just to gain some life. Who needs a good matchup, Z-Score? Not me, not I. You gonna keep believing? That's fair. Oh my god. Oh my god, chat. Alright, let's draw. Pick your poison. So maybe we Old Growth Troll so that we can chump the map and get extra mana for the turn after. I feel like Tandy is all about having the 49% matchup all day and just winning on player skill. I mean, that's like most of Magic these days. I think that the best players in the whole world at the Pro Tour are only going to go, I don't know, freaking 60. I think the best players only have like a 67% win rate, 68% win rate over the course of multiple years. Feel like we're gonna get hit with the old counter unless you pay 3 Metallic Rebuke. Play Enray's Forerunners as a finisher. Karhu, I'm just going to go out on a lark here and assume that you do not play Pioneer very much. I would recommend that you examine mtggoldfish.com and you familiarize yourself with the top 15 most popular decks. And I think that will give you a much better understanding of what this format looks like. Your suggestions have been extremely not off base, not off putting, just off base. Like I just don't think that you play the format very much. All right, well, if we don't die here, we have a good shot. A lot of cards put us in a bad spot, though. Insult Artifact on Dark Soul Sigil. Oh, all right. They're going to put us to potential 1 with a Shrapnel Blast, and they're going to try to kill us next turn, but I think the Obstinate Bailoff is going to save us. I think we're going to win, chat. I think this is the start of a 5-0 league. Okay, so I think we'll go for Outcast Trailblazer, since we can just do that a couple times into Bailoff. All right, so let's go Trailblazer cast. So green, and then cast this for green. They have another. Oh, okay, good. I was gonna say if they had another one, that'd be a bummer. Another Metallic Rebuke. And then we'll go for Bailoff. And if we draw a land, we can play Oddity as well. If we draw Nykthos, we can play Oddity and then give it haste. And we get to draw 2 cards here. Well, this is looking pretty good, chat. I think we're going to win this game now. And Tandy, I have RCU coming up this weekend. And actually plan to run mono green. How do you feel about it in the current meta? Well, that's what we're testing out today. I'm currently 0-2 in a previous league. We made a couple small changes, and I think we just end up winning this match, even though it was super close. Yeah, that was a good turn. I'm going to keep. We're on the play, no elf, but we do have Oath and Wolfwillow. Vaultborn Tyrant. I don't think you want to play anything in a Storm the Festival deck that doesn't get Storm the Festival. You can't play 6s. You can't play Enrace Forerunners. You have to play 3, 4, and 5 drops to transform and kill your opponent like Ulvenwald. Well, Joe Slip, I don't know if you know this, but Star City Games runs the LCQ system, or the RCQ system now, and they are currently Pioneer. So it's like the same thing. It's not Karhu, it's not. Grazer build's better than Leyline build? Maybe. There might be a Mono Green Devotion build with Grazer that is good. Something that's been in the back of my mind for a long time, but you just don't play enough raw lands for it to be good, and I think that that is just super common. Okay, so what's the plan here? I don't know what they're playing. They're on 6. I kind of want to just keep Trailblazer, because we just plot it. Maybe that's bad. But we get to go like Kiora cast it, maybe. But we get to do that with Troll as well, so let's just get Troll. So next time we go Wolfwillow. And then we can go Kiora. Oh, we don't have that ability, actually. I'm wrong. Oh, well. Picnic Ruiner. Okay, so I guess I can't go Kiora into Old Growth Troll. All right, you go. I'm probably going to die to this Picnic Ruiner, but I might just not block. No bully parallel. It's second league. We lost our first league to Mono White and Vampires from Two Strong Brazilians. And now we are entering into second league. We won our first match against Shrapnel Blast deck, and we're playing against Gruul Prowess now. I don't know what the Amalia matchup looks like. I'm sure it's horrible, though. Okay, so this thing says when it attacks while you control a creature power 4 greater, when it attacks. Okay, that's fine. So this will go on to my forest. No blocks. Okay, we can do some really dirty stuff this turn. Let's go Elf for free. Nykthos. Let's go untap Nykthos. Cavalier, and then with Trigger on, we'll activate Nykthos again. That way, if we hit another Nykthos, we can keep going without burning it. All right, so let's play the Storm the Festival from our hand. And I haven't played a land yet, but keep this Nykthos. Silverback Wolfwillow. Where are you going? Where are you going? So similar to last game or last match, I think Kiora and Sword in the Festival come out when we board in Voracious Hydra. And I think another Oath is fine to come out. Do I want Pick Your Poison for the flyer? I don't think so. So maybe we just leave in a Kiora. Did I change the board? Yeah, the deck's slightly different. I wasn't sure if it was going to be good or not. I'll do update in a minute. Okay, so at what point, Karhu, do you think we could have cast the End-Race Forerunners? Right? Every single card that I played leading up to the end of the game helped enable Nykthos. And then also killed my opponent and could be found off of Storm the Festival, right? And so the continued suggestion of End-Race Forerunners is like in Magical Christmas Land, when you have 8 mana and your opponent hasn't killed any of your creatures, End-Race Forerunners is great. In Commander, End-Race Forerunners, awesome, man. You know, but it's not even as good as Craterhoof Behemoth. And I know that we don't have Craterhoof Behemoth in this format, and that doesn't really matter, and that's not the point. The point is that the continued suggestion of weak or bad cards in the face of myself in chat informing you that they're bad cards, and you're admitted not having played the format at all, I would appreciate if you, instead of making a million suggestions that are wrong, instead were quiet for maybe an hour and just watched and listened and learned something instead of projecting your ignorance on the chat. Thank you. My die this turn. Slickshot's a lot of damage. Another Slicky. Oh, I should not have played that land first. That was a mistake. Let's go Obstinate Baloth and gain some life. Draw a card. We'll play Elf. If we draw Nykthos next turn, we can maybe Oddity flip it. Maybe Heavy Oddity is good with Trailblazer. Alright, let's just hope they flip over 2 lands. Or just like two drop spells that they can't cast. Witch Stalker? That's not good. I wonder if they Slick Shot or... I guess they'll just Frenzy. Beer of Nylea says, in the face of red decks with lots of removal for elves, do you leave them in post side? I do. They have to spend a turn to kill your elf, which means they're not playing a prowess creature. And it's your way to play something ahead of schedule that can compete with the strength of their cheap prowess cards, if that makes sense. All right, so let's Oath, looking for exactly Nykthos. Cavalier. We found Nykthos. We can't do anything this turn, so let's just sit back on the Trailblazer Cavalier and hope that one Slick Shot doesn't kill us. I have a good feeling that we're going to lose this turn. Yeah, Seek the Beast is certainly one that'll threaten it. Tandy, what do you think of the position of Lotus Field in the format? I think that with all these Gruul decks running around, it's not good enough. Frog in a Blender is an old Gruul deck. There was like a Basking Root Wall, Wild Mongrel, Violent Outburst. Not Violent Outburst. Violent Eruption. And it was like a base green deck splashing Violent Eruption. It was wild. And that was back when mana was horrible. Actual horrible. So they're Seeking the Beast again, looking for a land. They found it, but it's tapped. So I think we're fine. We're going to survive. They're going to play Copperline and be dead. They can attack me for 5. Oh, they have frickin' Carplusion Forest. We got debated. That's fine. We'll be on the play for game 3. We'll hope that the Silverback Elder was so close to getting us there. If we found Nykthos off of the Oath, we would have been fine. Did it have a nerd in it? You mean the Brush Hopper? Mr. Brush Hopper? That one was a little too... that one was green-white, right? So the mana base was horrible. I don't know if y'all understand what the mana bases look like back then, but if you go back and look at some of those decks, they had like Pain Lands from Apocalypse and not a lot else. You could play Tarnished Citadel and deal 3 to yourself to tap for City of Brass mana. They would regularly not have City of Brass in Standard. Sometimes they would print it into one of the core sets and it'd be pretty good. This hand's okay. Yeah, I don't think that the Pick Your Poison is good enough against them because they can just choose to play around it if they want to and go for the big Slick Shot kill you turn. With that said, this Gruul version is a bit different than my mono red than I usually play, so perhaps Pick Your Poison's a little bit better against them. I just don't think it is. Okay, so let's go land. We'll go Wolf Willow, and then if we hit an elf off of this, we'll go elf. And I think I'd rather have the Voracious Hydra, though, so we'll just do that instead. And now if they tap out for a 2-drop, we'll just fight it. If they don't, we'll just play Baloth. City was in 7th and 8th? I believe it was in 7th and 8th. But I think that 7th was later in that rotation than from Odyssey. I don't remember exactly when 7th came out, but it was around that time. And we did get City of Brass in that era, and it was great. All right, they're plotting the show off, so we'll just play Obstinate Baloth. Or I guess we'll just fight. We'll just fight the Swiss Spear while they're tapped out, and then they'll think I don't have anything, and the next time we can go Obstinate Baloth, Nykthos. I think we can Nykthos into both. I'm going to just play the biggest Voracious Hydra you've ever seen in your whole life, chat. Hydra looking awesome as always. Yeah, it only looks bad on exactly the turns where you find it off of Storm the Festival, right? How do you kill 13? You don't. You kill me. They kill me instead. But we have Nykthos and Obstinate Baloth to maybe make that more difficult. A couple lands here would be dope because they already played a land. They have Dawn, Swifty. We'll definitely block a Swifty somewhere. We can block the Soulscar with the 12 and not care. But the Dawn is gone. So they can go Swifty, attack, whatever. We have a couple of good blocks here. Can't block that one. Let's see if they buff it at all. Let's Fireface. Okay. Is Hydra though? Yeah, it's thick. I could actually force a chump block here with the Lair, I think. I think we can also play Baloth too. Okay, so we go Elf, green for a bunch. And then we can go this for this many. And this forces one block. They found a Tarkus command. It's not lethal. They have land Kumano Tarkus that's also not lethal. I think we did it, chat. I think we turned the corner, and it was all about that Voracious Hydra, man. It was so big. Wyman says, glad to see you stream again, Todd. I lost my old Twitch account. Weemuns. Oh, what's up, Weemuns? Oh, Weeman. Just got back into Standard after not playing for 3 years. Well, as they say, you never really quit. You just take a break. So welcome back. I hope that you find it nice here. So this is 3 damage and buff. That's fine. These don't have trample, and they're tapped out, and they've already played a land. They're just shorts. They needed Audacity at some point. I'll keep this hand because we have the turn 3 Silverback potential, and I want to see if it's any good. We've had it once so far, and it was mid, but, you know, that's because it requires you to have another thing after it's in play, which is sometimes difficult. Any MH3 previews you're interested in so far? I have talked about them a bit on my Twitter. I am going to play an elf even though I suspect it to die. But if they don't have the removal spell, if they just have like a consider or whatever, it's just always best to make sure your elves punish them for not having the right interaction. Highway robbery entered the plot zone. You doing any standard articles or play? Not anytime soon. We actually just got done with standard season we main. And so because of that, we're leaning into the RCQ seasons of choice. And we're doing Pioneer right now. Pioneer season will be done in like a month. And then we're going to be moving into Modern when MH3 comes out. All right, well, they just have 3 card draws, but they have Highway Robbery they can play here too. Highway Robbery might be cracked. Man, I wish I had drawn anything to play in these draws, but I think that maybe we can find a build that's not playing Storm the Festival. Maybe having Kiora and uh maybe just having Outcaster, Trailblazer, and Kiora with a bunch of creatures that trigger it allows us to kind of mini combo. That's the dream. Not having the frickin' land here though is a big bummer. Or not having a spell here. You know, Elf on 1 it dies, Elf on 2, no punish on 3. Yeah, now it dies and we're just behind again. This is like basically my entire experience playing against Phoenix for my whole life or whatever, so. So we just have to lower the curve, I think. And we have to be less combo oriented and more burst damage oriented. And maybe that just means playing like a bunch of Ulvenwald oddities and the things that say draw a card on them when you play a mid guy, mid-sized guy. I did do quite a bit of standard stuff for the standard season that we made on my YouTube, if you're interested. God, just not putting any pressure on them is so brutal. Maybe only play 2 storms instead of 4? Maybe. I think I'd rather just main deck Voracious Hydra and not play Storm at all. Storm has been weak because the hits are bad too. I'm going to play Silverback Elder instead of Cavalier. I just want to see. I just want to see if it does anything, man. My guess is that it doesn't do anything. My guess is it's going to die right now to Axe plus Impulse. And when that happens, I will cut it from the deck. You know? Is this still plotted? How can I possibly know? I assume it is. So the fetch lands are banned though, Karhu. So it makes it a little harder to play. And that's why you don't see Treasure Cruise in very many decks. You only see it in the dedicated hyper draw engines with Consider, Opt, Side of Hand out of Phoenix. Their whole deck is a Rube Goldberg machine designed to play Treasure Cruise. But it's arguably the best deck in the format. People have talked about it being banned for multiple years, but it seems that the powers that be at Wizards of the Coast are completely fine with its strength and how often it shows up in the format. Yeah, the more I just like think about the Elder, the more I think it's just not good. So, oh, and we get Temporal Trespass as well, and it doesn't even have reach, so it can't block. If it were Cavalier, we could be blocking right now or playing defense, but instead we're just dead. Yeah, obviously it's insanely good, but like the reason why it was ever banned is because you could play it in any deck with fetch lands and just go kill your guy, fetch, Treasure Cruise for 2, right? That's just not how it works in Pioneer because there's no fetch lands. Treasure Cruise is not banned. It's not banned. My opponent is casting it. I play Pioneer every day. Wherever your information is, it's bad. You probably looked at the modern ban list on accident, Weemuns. All right, so the iteration, which probably means they're going to double axe the Silverback. But that's good. Look, even if we're getting our ass kicked, I have learned so much from playing these 5 matches, and like everything that I thought was true has been challenged, and everything that I thought was like a sacred cow is no longer. So they played Ledger Shredder and then Iteration, and then attacked. I don't understand. Maybe their hand is horrible. All right, we're gonna go for Wolfalo Cavalier, Cancel. We can play around Jawari here. And I think I'm going to gain 4 life. You wouldn't think Troll and Storm being bad? Yeah, I know, but when everyone's playing Exile effects and Spell Pierces and killing your shit, and your density of powerful things in the mid game is basically gone. I'm going to attack. This can't block anything anyway. They want to go block, kill it. That's fine. We have this reach thing. They're like close to death. If they attack with Haul, we can chump it. Galvanic plus what? So even if they kill Cavalier, it's still only 10. The next turn we can go, I guess we can go Oath. Storm the Festival, go for it. Yeah, we did Norna. It was a great time too. We always love going out to Apex. So they're trying to do max damage. It's only 10 right now. Maybe we should just have a second Nykthos in case our Storm the Festival goes crazy. Second Cruise. We can maybe kill them. If they attack with everything, the Lair plus this is lethal. So they have to hold something back. Yeah, it was me and Ross. It was a great time. Can't believe Silverback's still in play. Well, they didn't kill it that first turn, and then they tried to remove my reach blocker so they could attack for a bunch this turn. All right, so let's go for one Storm in the Festival. See if we get lucky. We hit a land and a Wolf Willow. Not the best. And this is why I haven't been loving Storm, because we keep hitting nothing. Because we don't have Karn hits. And the Karn hits into other things were good enough, and now those just don't exist. Walking Ballista is not legal. Please consult the Pioneer ban list. All right, so a Wolf Woolen on the Nykthos. Oh, that was wrong. We should put it on the Boseiju. Does this matter? It's not enough anyway, right? It's only 8. All right. See, we just hit like absolute shit off the top 10, but I think that that's just very common. So I think that Storm is just bad. But it's bad because there's no Karn to hit. I like Carroted. I don't really love my sideboard in the matchup. I think I'm just going to do 2 Hearse, and I think I'm going to cut a Carroted and an Oath. Whatever. We're in the play. They're not trolling, man. I got a lot of longtime viewers who take a break from Magic for a couple years and come back. Magic's got tons of people who don't play competitive, who like watching stuff on Twitch, and they get interested in it. It's fine. Everyone needs to relax. I'm going to try a build with 4 Ovenwald Oddity, though, I think. But Outcaster Trailblazer has looked good when I draw it. And when I actually hit off Storm the Festival, it looks good. But I just think that there's just too low of a density of powerful things for Storm in this deck because we don't have Karn. And so because of that, I think what we need to end up doing is likely just going to all creatures. So Outcaster Trailblazer is better. And we just have to load up on Oddity, maybe 3 of. But it should probably be something like the 4 Fresh Hydra for the Storms, and then the Silverback is a 3rd Oddity, and then that's probably just good enough of a change to make it viable. The Sylvan Carriage is probably not useful. It's just like a thing I wanted to see if it was still okay, and it just hasn't been good on 2, and I don't think it blocks very well because all the aggro decks are prowess, so keep this one for sure. I wonder if there's a 2-drop that can trigger the Outcaster. All right, we're going to look for a forest here. Elf is a pretty good draw. If they don't kill Elf, I'll probably play Oddity next turn, but if they kill Elf, I'll just go Hearse. Shredder. I think it could serve as a substitute for Oath of Nissa. There's nothing. That's the problem. One of the big problems with Explorer. You can just not play it and play 22 lands. A Sylvan Carotid. Like right now, I'm not even playing 4. I only have 3. And if those 3 are gone, you should just play 22nd land. The Sylvan Carotid, I think, is good with 22 lands and the 8 elves. I don't think like a 2-drop iteration of the same effect is worthwhile. There are plenty of mono green decks on Arena for that format, right? But they just... I'm going to Storm. I assume that they're going to have an answer to it, but I just want to play my thing when I can. Character's also not Arena? Okay, Gyre Sage then. I don't know. Change the equation, 8. Change the equation, 8. And they have the answer for... Okay. Well, that sucks. Worst day of my life. What's up, Jeskai? How's it going? Yeah, Paradise Druid is an okay substitute for Carotid. But it might be better to do the Burning Tree Emissary builds of Nykthos. I'm going to maybe look at that. I just think that the Storm the Festival stuff opens you up to cheap counters and doesn't have a high enough hit rate. And so that's kind of where I'm at. But we're only in match 5 on the day with Mono Green. But I watched last night. The Storms were pretty weak also. And I think that's just going to happen a bunch. They sacked a land, which means that they didn't want to discard any of the cards in their hand. Or their hand was heavy on lands. No, if it was heavy on lands, they would have discarded land. So I guess they just liked all the cards in their hand. Because it was guaranteed Phoenix. Did I have the ability last turn to just go Nykthos, flip, Ulvenwald? I don't think so. You know how many cards they had to ban to make Mono Green bad, chat? Meanwhile, Treasure Cruise is still legal. Four, 5, 6. Another Nykthos kills them if they attack like this. Yeah, if you're still into it, Thunder, let me know. I'll be ready after this league. All right, Nykthos off the top. All right, so this is how much? 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, flip. Hope they can't kill it. I do greeny tea. I do remember. There is a Vivian Arcbow Ranger, which is solid. Or no, that's the wrong one. Is that Vivian? Yeah, I think that's right. Vivian Arcbow Ranger. There's also Vivian Reed, but that's not the same. Winota truly broken? Well, I do agree with that, but I'm sure you don't actually agree with that. Playing pub tonight? Maybe. Got to get Scooter on the line. Why didn't the Nykthos work? Oh, my pips went away. Something I never even considered. Fuck them. Whatever, man. It's not getting better for me. So they're gonna go to 1. All my shit dies and I lose. It's a bummer. Change the equation. What the fuck, man? How's Mono Green supposed to compete with this piece of shit? You know? Constant hate from every angle, and still it survives. Constant hate from every angle, and yet it still survives. Maybe just not attacking was right. Snitsu Shakes the World still good in Pioneer? No. Hasn't really seen play in about 2 years. And we lose. Old Beacon Bolt. Yeah, Phoenix fucking sucks to play against. If I'm being real. Just never runs out of stuff to do. Has answers for basically everything. Well, we'll say go and hope they can't randomly trigger a Shredder. But we'll see. Not really beer. I wanted to do it with what you calls it. I wanted to do it with cat oven, but I haven't seen a list that came close to doing what I wanted to do. You try to play Lorcana since the new set dropped? No, I've been focused on Magic, and it doesn't matter with the third set or whatever, or with the challenges being 3 set instead of 4. Let's see if my turn 1 elf survives, chat. If my turn 1 elf never survives, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It's not part of the one that's this weekend. So they're doing the same thing as us. I guess we'll start with Elder. Elder could be pretty good in this spot. Especially if they play some sort of artifact or enchantment I want to blow up. I probably won't need to blow up. What are you playing this weekend? I still don't know. I'm gonna ask my friends if they have anything I can borrow. Probably just gonna play Amber Ruby because that's what I used to win my Stitch promo, but Amber Steel is my heart, and it's hard to give it a. Trailblazer and a Cavalier. Yep. So we go Elf is free. We'll go look at the top 5, put a land in. Unfortunately, I think the land enters tapped, so that's why it's like maybe a little bit worse than Cavalier in the grand scheme. All right, so we'll go Cavalier. Well, Silverback looks good here, but I mean, it's the mirror, and our opponent's not doing anything. And it still doesn't get nicked, though, so it's just like treading water. It's not treading water. It's ramping up for another turn, which who knows if we're even going to get another turn, you know? All right, so let's untap Nykthos. We'll go Carroted. Lands again. I don't think it's worth it to do anything else here, so I think we'll just say go. Yeah, Silverback's just not it. That's not it, man. If we had Cavalier the turn before, maybe we would have found Storming the Fest off of it. I'm going to hold on to the Beseju for Nykthos. Try to blow it up in response to them untapping it, or if they find one here and put it into play and don't use it, I'll probably just blow it up. Well, or we'll just do that. All right, so we go play Oddity. Yeah, more Oddity's got to be it. With all the things that say draw card on them, it's just got to be Oddity. And it's so much better in the Outcast Trailblazer builds that maybe it's just 3 or 4. The Silverback seemed okay there, but it was like, that's the best it's ever going to be. Is that good enough? What if I Stonebrain Cavalier of Thorns? Can they win anymore? I think it's maybe difficult. I don't know if I want to board in anything. My elves don't die, so Carrot is bad. All my mana stuff's good. Oddity's good. Silverback's okay. Maybe it's just 1 Stonebrain for... Maybe it's 1 Voracious Hydra. I kind of want all the Voracious Hydra, even though it makes Storm look bad. Old Growth Troll's kind of mid. Maybe Wolfwillow's worse, though. Some people got Tail Swipe. Yeah, I saw that. Card's okay. It's one of the better like fighting type things. Is that's the one that's +1/+1 if it's at sorcery, or is that the one that's just a whack 'em? All right. Well, if they have Elf Nykthos Leyline, you know, we'll see how good Leyline is. I have yet to see it ever do anything. Yeah, that one. I think that card's great. Yeah, what would you rather have, Leyline or Kiora Elf? Elf Kiora Elf. Even with Nykthos next turn, they're still behind. There comes a troll. Or plot. Yeah, plots. Plots. Such plots. Okay, well, I guess we'll just do it again. And then, because we have the elf to play this turn too. Get to draw a card. Oh my god, that's so perfect for next turn. And then we'll blow this up. So maybe we board a silverback for the mirrors. That should be game over, though. I can't imagine they can come back from that. Especially with Nykthos double Cavalier next turn. Yeah, 4 Trailblazers, nice. The Gorilla is whatever. The Gorilla just looks good, but I don't think it is good. But it does look good. But the Trailblazers are what's really carrying. Ooh, okay, so they're the teamer deck? Probably. Alright, well, I'll probably go Wolfwillow Elf next turn instead of playing Troll, because I just want to ramp into the Cavaliers and try to combo kill as quickly as possible. Alright, so now we'll go Cure Elf instead of the anything else. Spelunking. Alright, we can certainly die next turn. We can certainly die next turn. Let's hope but we don't. Cavalier. Get to draw a card. Then hit a land in the top 6. Brutal. Alright, let's see if we die. We only have 2 cards in hand, but Aftermath Analyst bringing back Fabled Passage and Maestro's Theater means we can get a lot more mana. I'm really not sure exactly how I die. Seems like they're also a Yorion deck. That's pretty funny. Oh, that's fair, Ganda. I didn't even think about that. Ill-timed explosion. All right, let's hope that the Cavalier survives. 2, 4, 5, 6. That's brutal. I guess their analyst is going to die unless they discard little things. Okay, so they didn't kill everything. It's fine with me. So we'll go Trailblazer cast, draw a card, and then we can untap Wolfwillow and play. Untap this, play Troll. And I might hold on to the Beseiju. Yeah, definitely hold on to Beseiju now. This is one of the reasons why I like Trailblazer. It's like good to plot, good to cast. Good early, good late. You know, always happy to draw one. It's like a mini burning tree that just starts drawing a bunch of cards. And it makes it so I think Storm the Festival is just unnecessary, but a lot of my better cards are just in hand. So I think I'm going to Cavalier looking for Nykthos exactly. And I'll just hold up Besage if I miss. But I got a lot of looks. I already played a land though, so maybe that's wrong. Yeah, the Trailblazers and the Kioras together all just look great. All right, so we found the Nykthos, so we're in business. We should be able to kill them this turn. So we go green for this mini. We could play another Kiora. I think we can cast this, float one, draw two. Yeah, I just don't know if we need Storm the Festival. Storm the Festival has literally not done anything for me the whole league. And I'm like winning without it a lot. I mean, we could keep going too, right? We do another Kiora. We could go forever. Overmauled Oddity. Turn 5 kill. Nice. Turn 5 kill through a Wrath. World Soul's Rage, maybe? On the Stone Brain? Alright, let's just assume Storm the Festival, Silverback. I like Silverback for the matchup. So we'll bring in at least one Voracious. I think we'll cut the Keratin, bring in 2 Voracious. Both of Nissa for a 3rd Voracious. Uh-oh, I don't know what happened. Looks like so much fun. It's pretty fun, man. Not gonna lie. It's pretty fun. We'll keep this hand. It's all mana, but that's fine. We have a lot of things that can cascade with Kiora and just keep going. Arboreal Grazer. A Steel of Champion been discussed. Not in about 6 years. What are your first 2 matchups? Vampires and no. That was last league. Izzet and Soul and Gruul Prowess, I think? Something like that. Only loss so far was to Phoenix. Alright, so we'll go Cure and play. Cure Elf is pretty strong. And now we just need to draw a chain of 4 power creatures, whatever that looks like. Well, that's the start of something beautiful. Alright, so let's go Wolf Willow on a land first. We'll get to draw a card, and we can hit a lot of things to be able to cast. Alright, I'm just going to say go. But now we have 2 things that say draw a card on them whenever we do something. I besiege you for a spelunking. That's nice. It's gonna make a big guy. Alright, we're gonna try to kill him next turn, I suppose. I probably should have used Cure to untap Nykthos and make an even bigger Voracious Hydra. Timed Explosion. You think they're going to discard a 15 cost card? So they're not dead next turn. Discard Fate. So 2 to everything. Oh, the Grazer sticks around though. Alright, so let's swing for 14. And then I think we'll probably make a couple wolves. Let's just hold up Besage as well, just in case they go for a Spelunking kill. I don't think I have to worry about Settle the Wreckage, but maybe they have like a bounce effect for the Voracious Hydra. We'll go for Trailblazer, draw a card, see what we find. Okay, we'll make a green. On tap, we'll go for the kill, because if we kill Grazer, we should be in business. We also get to draw 2 cards. And that's the thing, I think we're just going to chain draw cards off over and over again. And that's kind of the gist of the deck after we fix it. All right, 4-1, chat. We did it. We went 4-1 with a really sweet build of Mono Green Devotion. Let's talk about things I liked and didn't like. First off, I didn't like the Silverback Elder. I thought that it was pretty medium. Even when we were fully powered doing the thing, we cast on turn 3. We got to untap with it. We got to kill something. We got to get lands. We got to gain life. Finding tap lands did not feel like it was that big of a deal. It didn't do anything right when it came in, so I always felt like basically at the mercy of my opponent if they kill it with a black removal spell or something. Cavalier of Thorns just like doesn't have that. Old Growth Troll just doesn't have that. And so I think we need to look for something maybe in the 3/4 drop range that does something similar in terms of like pressuring the opponent but requiring removal. And I think it's probably just a third Overmold Oddity. Drawing Oddity naturally is going to be good when we cut Storm the Festival, which we are going to do. Storm the Festival no longer is good enough because our deck is so full of air from lack of Karn. It used to be a Storm the Festival finds a Karn the Great Creator, you win the game, right? Not like you find Karn the Great Creator and you can sometimes win the game, but if you have enough mana floating, it was a deterministic kill. And that's no longer the case. And so finding only one card off of Storm the Festival that matters is no longer good. We don't really need the mana sinks anymore because we have Outcaster, Trailblazer, and Cura both drawing tons of cards. And so I think that this is just going to become Voracious Hydra so that we can be more interactive. That also means that we can change some of the other cards too to kind of mix and match and make sure that we have enough mana generation in there as well. What I did not like in the sideboard, I didn't really like the Stone Brain. We didn't play against the Lotus Field combo, but overall, I think maybe 3 Stone Brains is still too many. I started with 4 in the previous build, and I'm down to 2, I think, after this build. 2 copies of Unlicensed Hearse felt fine, but maybe a little bit slow against Phoenix, just because the spending 2 mana on it just made it so I couldn't progress my board. And so maybe we want something like Scavenging Ooze, or maybe we just don't really care about interacting with the graveyard at all. So I'll look into maybe Tranquil Frillback or something like that can hit the graveyard but also be disenchants, so that we get basically the best of both worlds. And once we move the Voracious Hydras to the main deck, I think that we'll be in business there too. So all right. Other than that, I mean, we went 4-1. We lost to Phoenix in a very close 3-game set. But after we change our deck some, I think we're gonna have a real monster in our hands. And the real standout to me is Outcast or Trailblazer. Just an all-star at most points in the game. If you build your deck in a certain way, which is just dense with creatures that have 4 power and like also just like a good curve. I'm not even sold on Wolfwillow Haven anymore, since we're not using Storm the Festival. The Wolfwillow Haven's a bit worse, but it does make Kiora great without Nykthos. And it did come up multiple times where my opponent killed Elf and I played Wolfwillow on 2, and it was good. So, but that's just where my head's at. I'm definitely cutting this Sylvan Carotid. I think it was just a reflexive thing to try. Sideboard, Pick Your Poison, still fine. Obstinate Baloth, still fine. But the big thing, I think, is just Voracious Hydra moving to the main deck. I think it's going to change a lot of situations for us, so I'm excited about that. But this is Mono Green Devotion, chat. It's brand new. Make sure to check out our sponsors, Apex Gaming. Apex Gaming is a store out of Caldwell, Ohio. You can check out their website, apexgaming.gg. Games and Comics Paradise is a game store out of Fairfax, Virginia, specializing in singles. You can check out their website, gcparadise.com. For deals on anything from Lorcana to Magic the Gathering. And lastly, thanks to Moxfield.com. Moxfield is a deck building website that you can build and share your list easily with your friends. If you want to check out my deck list, you can find my Moxfield in the link description below. Or if you're on Twitch, you can hit !deck or deck list in the chat. I write strategy articles about Magic the Gathering, whatever the tournament formats are. You can check them out at patreon.com/Tandy. I will likely be writing a sideboard guide on this very soon once I get it to a place where I like. So if you're a mono green head like me, keep posted and make sure to follow the Patreon, patreon.com/Tandy. Thanks for hanging. We'll see you next time.